Welcome to the Mixed Tag Podcast. We're breaking down the hottest stories in wrestling, talking favorite wrestlers, and setting the tone for everything that this show is about. Welcome to episode one. I'm Monty, and this is my amazing co-host.
Hello, everybody. My name is Agent 04, the man with the best takes, the best hot takes, and I'm here to spread the message that me and Moni, we're here to take over and we're here to spread love to the community.
Let's do it. So, let's do a little introduction. How long have you been a wrestling fan, Agent?
I have been a wrestling fan going on now 12 years.
Wow.
Actually, correction, 13. I've been a
Wow.
wrestling fan since 2012, since I was 6 years old. I was flipping through a TV channel one time, took the remote, and I came across this random station, and I see these two men dressed in green telling people to suck it. So to me that was funny. And so, I was glued to the TV screen. I stayed on the channel, and later on, that same green people who were telling people to suck it had a wrestling match. And I'm entertained because not only are they very funny, they can wrestle. They're fighting. When you're young, you like to see stuff with action. But
Of
I had
course.
no idea that it would follow me all the way through my childhood, all the way up to now. And I'm 19 years old currently.
I love that. I love that. So, when was the moment that you knew you fell in love with wrestling?
The moment I knew I fell in love with wrestling specifically was 2018. Shinsuke Nakamura made his debut on the main roster that year.
Oh wow.
And no, actually the year before, but this is his first Royal Rumble. Shinsuke Nakamura debuted in the Royal Rumble. Me and my
Oh
father
wow.
were having a talk about who we thought would win the Royal Rumble. Me being a huge fan of Shinsuke Nakamura, I said Shinsuke Nakamura was going to win the Royal Rumble. So you can imagine how happy little old me was when Shinsuke actually won the Royal Rumble in 2018. And on top of that, my dad took me to WrestleMania that same year in 2018, WrestleMania 34. So 2018 was the year that stapled WWE in my life like forever. Like I knew it was gonna follow me. I'm always keep up with it. Watch the premium live events, watch the regular shows, keep up with things online, and because I enjoy it. And like I said, that 2018 was a very important year for me, and got to go to the grandest stage of them all.
That's awesome. I've never been to a pay-per-view, but that's on my list of goals and dreams to accomplish. Um, I would say for me, since we got an age gap, so I've
Yes,
I've been a
dude.
wrestling fan for about since I was or seven. My mom and her friend were actually the wrestling fans, but growing up
Mm-hmm.
in a black household, when your parents tell you to do something, they mean it. And we had a choice: either go to bed or sit your little ass down and watch wrestling. I didn't want to go to bed, so you best believe I was in front of that TV every Tuesday, every Thursday. This was back in the Attitude Era. So I used to love seeing people like Jeff Hardy. I loved watching the Divas. I don't know, it was just something about the Divas that made me like love wrestling. Even though they
Love me
barely,
some Lita.
yeah, even though they barely got their shine, you still had people putting on a show. Um, the moment I knew I fell in love with wrestling is when first seen Jeff Hardy. It was just not even the Hardy Boys together, Jeff Hardy. It was just something about that man
Mhm.
I loved, and he got me in trouble so much because do you know how many times I swanton bombed off my kitchen table?
Ooh.
Yeah. So he got me in a lot of trouble as a kid. And I would say he is still one of the people I dream of meeting, even though I met Matt Hardy. I would probably die if I met Jeff.
Call an ambulance on the spot, everybody.
911. So let me ask you this. What
Excellent.
what do you think the listeners can expect from our podcast? Because we're here to make a scene.
Well, I'll be honest. They can expect authenticity from both of us. They can expect a pure, authentic version of us both. We're not going to sugarcoat anything. We're going to tell it how it is. We're going to speak our opinions. We're going to talk about facts. We're going to let everybody know how we feel. We're trying to build a fan base, build a community. We're not going to talk trash, but we're going to make ourselves known. We're going to make a statement. We're going to let people know that we're not here to take part, as I said. We're here to take over. And to reference one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, CM Punk, we're not here to make friends. We're here to make money.
I like that. I'm a piggyback onto that, and I'm gonna say that just goes to show that we're here to deliver fun and passion, but we're also taking a deep dive into professional wrestling. With that being said, let's get into a Monday night breakdown.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for the Monday night breakdown, I will be taking over this segment. First off, I would like to say the opening of the show was amazing. And I'm not even a fan of Stranger Things, but the opening was amazing. I love how Corey Graves and Michael Cole started the show from the ramp. That was a small little detail that added a lot to the show, especially because of how hype Corey Graves was.
Oh,
So, when you hype
100%.
up the beginning of the show, it gets the fans invested that's at home, let alone the fans in the arena.
Can I
So
make?
yes, I love this opening.
I'm gonna make a note on that. With Corey
Yes,
Graves, I don't know. I just want to see more of Corey Graves.
I
I
want to
feel
see
like
more.
they're not giving him like his full potential. But last night, I feel like he was in his element. So that's all I
And
have to
another
say.
thing, to piggyback over you on that, I love how Corey Graves, he could either be a heel commentator or he could be a face commentator. Not many commentators can do that because you could tell when it sounds forced or when it doesn't come out natural.
Yes,
Corey Graves can go for the bad guy and make you hate him, or Corey Graves can go for the good guy and make you feel bad for the good guy that's getting beat down.
yes, very versatile.
I love that. Now, to get into the show, the first match, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus the Kabuki Warriors and Asuka and Kairi Sane for the women's tag team titles. Now, first off, I rated the match 4 stars. What about you?
I would say 4.5.
Okay, I like that. Now, I would like to say for starters, that ending sequence was amazing. I love the combo of the Riptide into the moonsault. It's just so clean. Io Sky, in my opinion, is the greatest women's wrestler currently as far as in-ring ability. She's the greatest women's wrestler on that roster. And that's strictly my opinion. But hey, I've heard a few other people say this, so I'm clearly not in the minority.
Yeah,
But
I definitely agree.
yes, yes. And on another note, I love how strong they made Kairi Sane look because, as we know, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Asuka, they have all wrestled at
Bangers.
WrestleMania. They have had multiple bangers, multiple time women champions, Money in the Bank winners, and Asuka and Io, Rumble winner, and Rhea Ripley. So for Kairi Sane to look so strong in a match with that many main eventers, it can boost her stock. She took multiple finishers, but
She
she
did.
still looked strong. As I said, while she was in the ring with main eventers such as Io, Rhea, and Asuka, because recently they don't really put the mid carders or the people that we're not used to in that main event scene. So it's like a breath of fresh air to see Kyrie be able to kind of break out.
Yes,
I
I
love
agree.
that. I love that.
I feel like
Do you have any input?
when she gets that solo run, I feel like
Mhm.
this is kind of lighten the match. But when she get that solo run, I feel like she just gonna take off. So I can definitely see her as a women's intercontinental champion
Ooh, that would be
as
dope.
well as a women's champion.
And then they always have that feud with her and Oscar in their back pocket at any moment when they want to pull the trigger.
Yes.
Now, moving on to the next segment, Gunther and AJ Styles.
Oh my
Woo.
gosh. Wow. Wow is all I can say.
I want to say off rip. Gunther and Adam Pearce backstage. Adam Pearce telling Gunther, listen, we know you beat John Cena. You beat the greatest of all time. But don't go out there and disrespect him. And for the first thing Gunther does when he walks out is to pull out a
My
shirt
goodness.
like John Cena would do with his towel. And the words that was on that shirt, oh my goodness,
Diabolical.
immediate crowd.
Diabolical.
Now, I love the heat for Gunther. Gunther can be a top heel for at least the next 2 to 3 years. They have a top heel for a long time. I mean, Gunther's gonna have heat for a while because it's gonna be hard to turn him face, especially after he just retired someone like John Cena. It's gonna
Yes.
be hard to turn him face. But I will say, I love how he kept cutting AJ Styles off in the middle of their promo. That was hilarious. It gained, not only did it gain more heat, it just proves to you Gunther, even though he's a serious character, he can still show more of like a funny side and that charismatic side of him. You
Yes.
know,
And I also think it added a little more fire to AJ as well.
I agree because that slap from AJ was amazing.
He slapped him like I don't
Big
even
Jim.
know.
Big Jim, I think that was Big Jim was the last time we saw a slap like that in general. So
Yes.
the fact that it happened to Gunther twice, I think Gunther needs to stay away from hands.
100%. And this is
Yes.
the part that gets me with them dropping the tag team titles
Hmm.
and knowing that it's 2026 and right now Gunther is retiring people. It makes me sad because AJ Styles is next.
Yep, and he's retiring this year.
So,
But oh, AJ's dope. AJ Styles is the first person to get under Gunther's skin since Saturday
yeah,
night's main event.
yes.
That was a great move on AJ for calling Gunther a little bitch. But I will say, and I can agree with the crowd on this only because AJ slapped Gunther in that present moment. So when they went backstage and Adam Pearce was like, the match is official for next week, the crowd booed like crazy. They did not like that result. They did not like that at all. Because, people be too focused on the online and the IWC, as they call them. And
Yes.
the fans in the arena is what matters. They did not like that decision at all.
That's why I don't understand the world of social media on wrestling. Just talking about wrestling in general.
Mhm.
Like it pushes so many different narratives and people are like they'll get online and they'll be like, who supports these people? But you get to the crowd, and obviously the crowd does.
The crowd be alive. I'm talking about be cheering. They be
Yeah.
cheering. You can tell
But
they actually care about these superstars that are wrestling.
yes, and it depends on the city as well. Like some cities, you might have the wrong crowd, but some cities you got the right crowd.
Because a crowd can make or break a show and let alone a pay-per-view. A crowd can make or break a pay-per-view to the fullest. You can have amazing matches, amazing storylines, everything. Production can be great. But if that crowd is not alive and if that crowd is not persuaded by what the storyline is or the match, it doesn't matter.
Yes, like and it can kill the person.
Exactly.
Like we've seen that so many times. Like for example, the crowd goes crazy for Juliana. One wrong crowd and they did not make no noise from her. It was done. Done. But then now they got the right crowd back. Now that she won the title back, she's getting the momentum back.
She's getting and another thing I'll say about this, the crowd, I believe the crowd got Maxine over amazingly.
They did.
Maxine Dupree did amazing work. And on that note, I would like to lead into that match. Becky versus
Yes.
Maxine for the Intercontinental Championship. The match alone was pretty good. I gave it 3 stars. What about you?
I'm gonna give it 3 stars as well
Understandable.
because I love the storytelling. And one thing I want to say about Maxine, I love how she fights every fight like it's her last. Like she know that she can get fired tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
or everything can be taken away. And it's just the passion that she has. I
I
really
love
think I
you can
really
feel the
think
emotion.
that's what's got her over with the crowd and it feels so organic.
Yes, as you said, I love that you can feel the emotion coming from her. Not only the facial expressions, as you said, the way she wrestles. She's literally wrestling like, as you said, because she knows one phone call you can be released the next day. They can be wishing you good luck on your future endeavors. And I would like to say Maxine looking dominant was a good move, making her look strong as the champion at that moment, of course, against someone like a Becky Lynch. Because as we know, Becky does have a past of squashing people when not necessary, even though we know it wasn't her fault. It
Yeah.
was, in the Vince era, it wasn't her booking decision. And another thing I will say, they messed up a few spots, but one spot where Maxine, it looked like they were getting ready to botch, but she picked it up was that ankle pick. It looked like
Yeah.
Becky was getting ready to slip over, and Maxine grabbed her ankle
She
midair. It
recovered.
was a great recovery.
She
And I
recovered.
will say, Becky Lynch was smart with that finish because it was sneaky. It caught me off guard. And another thing, it proves that she's a veteran. Because
Yes.
as you know, Becky's whole thing was Maxine isn't ready. She's a rookie who shouldn't be even in the ring with Becky, and Becky won with the veteran tactic.
Very, very much. I was
Yeah,
shocked because I was like, ain't no way they finna have Maxine lose her title on what, the second defense?
the second defense, and it caught me off guard as well because I didn't expect Becky to pin her like that as well. It was like I was shocked that Maxine lost, and I didn't expect the match to end in that spot. It literally caught me so off guard,
Yes.
and I love that. The
But
unpredictability is what I do love.
it also leads like questions like, are we getting a longer feud with them? Or is it like one and done? Is Becky going on the bigger, better
Maybe
thing?
this could be setting up for something bigger. Maybe a AJ Lee.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was in Maxine's corner. So, that's interesting.
And the thing is, when you have someone like a Becky Lynch, kind of the issue with Jay Cargill, you can't just put anybody in there with a Becky Lynch. You have
No,
to put somebody in there that can look legit, that can be a serious contender to someone like a Becky Lynch.
of
Because
course.
as we know, Becky's one of the best on the mic. So she can eat. You can't just put somebody in there that she can eat alive on the mic because she can bury them. Becky can go in the ring. You can't just put it. Sometimes Becky does mess up or miss a spot. So you have to put somebody in there that can wrestle and that can also,
Match
like,
her
maybe if
energy.
Becky slips up, yes, they can pick up quickly, match that energy, you know. And another thing with Becky Lynch that I do love, I will say this: Becky Lynch, Lauren Valkyria, and Maxine Dupree to the point where if they were to go for the major women's world title, I would see them as a serious contender or a serious threat. And Becky Lynch did a great job building up those two mid carders to look like serious main eventers at any point. Whenever they
And
want
not
to pull the trigger on Lauren Valkyria, boom, they can make her miss Money to Bank if they wanted to. They can let Maxine win Elimination Chamber because I would actually see them as a genuine contender now.
and not only that, she built the title up as well.
Yes.
Because kind of I think at first people were like, nobody's really worried about this Intercontinental Championship, but Big Time
Especially
Bex
with what they
got
were
it,
doing
and
with the
now
Women's
all
United
eyes are
States
on
title.
her. And I think that they've done an amazing job with building
Yes,
that
I
title.
agree.
And not only that, they're doing a good job of like focusing on the mid carders.
Yes, the women's tag team division and the women's mid card division is amazing at the moment. It's
That
amazing. It's so stacked, but that does make me question since we have so many mid carders that are main eventers.
mm-hmm.
We and it's finna be the road to WrestleMania. What type of changes are we going to see soon with a lot of these tag teams?
Ooh.
A lot of these women's tag teams, like Alexa and Charlotte, Io and Rhea, Oscar and Kairi Sane, as we were speaking about later, that's always in the back whenever you want to pull the trigger on their storyline.
And
Those are three
then
tag teams already that we could see something happening, a big change.
I can definitely see Alexa Bliss going back heel.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see her and Charlotte breaking up because they're throwing little subliminal hints at us with Jade Cargill and Charlotte. I think that's a
Yes,
WrestleMania match
that
right
would
there.
be amazing. That match
That's
would
a banger.
and then Charlotte would be the first serious contender to Jade Cargill's title.
Yeah. So I feel like Charlotte would do a good job putting Jade over in that match and building her up as well, like she did Rhea Ripley during their WrestleMania match.
Mm.
I can see that.
Now let's move on to the next segment. And now, I just want to say I am huge on Obafemi. The way that people are talking about Braun Breaker, that's all I talk about Obafemi. That hype package, it was nice.
Amazing.
It was amazing. It was simple but sweet. It was amazing. Obafemi already looks like a serious contender to any title that he would go for, especially that match that he had with Cody Rhodes. And the fact that the match ended in a disqualification shows that they have high hopes for Oba because they wanted to protect him as well as protecting Cody, who is their poster boy currently. So
Yes.
imagine the amount the amount of responsibility that they're putting in your hands to not only put you in the ring with the poster boy, but they still allow you to look strong.
You can also tell that the impact that Oba has because you have people like Braun Breaker stealing his words and using them in his own promo.
Exactly.
So you can tell who's being watched. It just didn't it just didn't feel right coming out of
It
Braun
didn't
Breaker's
know.
mouth. But it
And
just
then the thing with Oba just has that aura to him. He has that feel. You know,
oh,
Oba, he has that it factor.
soon as his music hits, people are ready to just do that little one, two.
Ooh.
Yeah, like the crowd is just in it. So he really does have potential. I feel
And
like
as
I
I
could
said,
see him in a top title spot on the main
oh
roster.
yes, 100%. And as I said before, crowd participation can make or break a superstar in a wrestling
Yes.
event. That crowd is alive for Obafemi.
Soon as his music hit, they just know it's
Mind you,
go time.
he's only had a few main roster appearances, only a handful of main roster appearances, and he gets that type of reaction and that type of booking. Yeah, they have high hopes for Obafemi.
Yes. I think they're just, sticking their foot in the water with him,
Mm-hmm.
just easing him in to the main roster scene.
They got to test it out to see
Yeah.
how good he can work in the ring with those main event caliber people, and again, see how good he works with that crowd. And he did that match with him and Cody was great.
Amazing.
It
I just
was
want to say that pay-per-view Saturday night main event, the NXT superstars showed out and
they
stole the show.
did.
They stole the show 100%.
So Ruka and Bailey, I believe, probably had the best match.
The best match of the night.
I believe
I
it was the best
wasn't a big
match.
fan of Soul Ruka, but I became one that night.
Mm. Well, I'm glad you became a fan of Soul Ruka because that lady right there, she's a future main eventer of WrestleMania. I'm not gonna say no joke. Her Soul Snatcher, like the fact that
Diabolical.
she can do that out of nowhere while having to bounce off of a rope and do a flip. Yes,
Anywhere.
she has that it factor just like Obafemi. A lot of the NXT stars are starting to have that it factor where it's to the point where when they come up, if they don't book them correctly, I think this is be the point where the internet and the fans in the arena would collectively not be agreeing with the decisions. Because look at Carmelo Hayes. People were complaining for a while about Melo, but that payoff finally happened.
It did. It did.
So, yeah. Let's move on to this next segment. The Usos, it was a nice segment. It was a nice back and forth from Jimmy and Jay. It was short and sweet.
I kind of
Because
felt like 2019 Usos again.
yes, because Jimmy and Jay are way better with their pro. Whatever, Jimmy's already good on the mic. Jay, he's all right on the mic, but when they're rebounding off of each other, it's like
Amazing.
this French kiss. It's amazing, and I love this. I love how Jimmy was like, "Where that camera at? Zoom in real quick." That was funny. I like how they did that, and
Jim,
then yeah,
Big
and then
Jim
I
was hype.
remember
He was hype.
exactly. And I remember me and you were having a conversation before this episode when they were doing the running back. You thought that they were going to do the old theme song,
Yes, I
and
thought that they were going to
yes,
run it back because I don't. Big Jim, cut it off like cut it right now. Cut this music right now. I thought they was going boom, boom, ooh, so old theme song. That would have been fire.
day one ish.
Like that would have been fire.
That would have been great. But now I will say this: now that the Usos are the tag team champions, we get to see some matches that we haven't gotten to see yet.
Mm.
DIY versus the Usos.
Yep.
Well, obviously the New Days and the Usos can always run it back. That's going to be a good matchup any day of the week. So, another thing with the Royal Rumble coming up, I want to see if they're going to revisit anything with Jimmy and Jay.
Oh,
Because now that we know that they will fight each other, I want to know if we're gonna have anything happening
Is
especially with
is
Jay
Big
wanting
Jim
that world title so bad.
is Big Jim gonna get his payback and eliminate his brother from the Royal Rumble?
Imagine if Jimmy
Wow.
eliminates Jay.
The crowd will eat that up. That's insane. Speaking of Royal Rumble though, with TNA people popping in and out,
Yes,
and we talking about the tag team division.
the Hardy
Are
Boys.
we gonna see the Hardy Boys mix it up with the Usos?
Hey, think about it. We just got Dolph Ziggler last year for that last now
We
for the
did.
last time it's now turn.
We did. That's
Also,
interesting.
I want to throw this out in the atmosphere. The Rumble is coming up. Ricky Saints recently attacked
Mm.
a very prominent member of the Anna Wyatt family.
Oh yes. I knew you were going to mention this because I
Yes.
think I mentioned this to you.
So how do you feel about that?
I feel like Ricky Saints is going to enter the Royal Rumble
Mm-hmm.
and Mr. Zilla Fatu is going to enter the Royal Rumble as well and get his payback.
I agree.
That's
And
what
that
I
would be an amazing way to introduce Zilla to the main audience.
Yep. And because he already been in TNA,
Mhm.
he's already mixed it up with TNA fans.
Recently, he's been able to wrestle with the Hardy Boys, having tag team matches with them.
And if I'm not mistaken, didn't he appear on NXT as well with the TNA crossover?
Did he? Did I
I
miss that?
I
Oh
don't I feel like he appeared. I feel like he
no,
did.
I don't believe Zilla was in the crossover. And probably the reason why is because they know that he's such a prominent name and big name. They probably do want to save him for like a main roster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
little a little back pocket.
no, let's move on to the next segment. I kept this short and simple in my notes. I literally have Big Mama Cool attacks the champ Stephanie Booker.
Whew.
The promo itself, it was good. It's just Stephanie getting herself over with the crowd. Crowd was pretty. They were pretty loud. Raquel Rodriguez actually is making herself look more and more like a main eventer and a
Yes,
serious threat, not only to the champion but to actually win that title.
and shows that she don't need a a team
She can be a
to
good
help.
single star.
Yes.
And I'm gonna be honest, that Tejana bomb that she did was
Oh my,
nasty.
diabolical.
Oh my goodness. And then so not only that, to follow up, she attacked Stephanie backstage,
Again.
making another statement. I will say Raquel is gonna be a serious contender in that Royal Rumble this year.
100%. And another again with her, I feel like when they put her with Judgment Day, it kind of put the rocket on her foot. And this
That
feud with Stephanie and Nikki Bella is sparking the fuse. And last night, the fuse blew.
that
I feel like
feud
she's gonna
blew
take
up
off.
is amazing. And now speaking of Raquel, let's move on to Liv Morgan versus Laura Valkyria. Now I gave this match 3.5 stars, 3.5 stars. It was a good match. I must say it started at a good pace. Liv came out looking strong in the beginning. Now I want to immediately call this out. That code breaker by Liv Morgan was amazing, but that sell by Laura Valkyria was even better.
Lyra is a good
Oh,
seller. She's a
Laura
good
might be female Dolph Ziggler. Laura might be a female Dolph Ziggler. She actually is amazing.
that was and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but
Mm-hmm.
we got 10 minutes left.
I know. It's okay.
That's
Get through
sad.
these segments. We're finna get through these segments. Don't worry. Now, to finish off my notes for Liv and Laura, I put great finish to the match. And this was Liv's first singles match in over 7 months, and she won.
Of course. I think it was refreshing to see Liv again on TV
Mm-hmm. I
and
agree.
see her do her big one. I feel like she is on the road to reclaim her title.
Boom. Now, now as you can see, we don't have much time left, so let's get on to this main event segment because I do have quite a bit of notes. First off, I gave this match 4 stars. CM Punk and Braun Breaker have great chemistry. Breaker came out looking strong, as well as having a crowd on his side. Even though he was in the ring with someone like a CM Punk, who we know can steal the crowd from anyone. When I mean CM Punk can steal that crowd from anyone, it doesn't matter who you are. He can persuade that crowd on his side. And on a serious note, I'm glad Braun Breaker is okay when he missed that Frankensteiner because that could have been terrible and great on CM Punk for trying to grab Braun Breaker's leg and as well as quickly following up with the elbow. And I like that they redid the spot. It was safe and they
Yes,
redid the spot. And, and now I must say, Braun Breaker is great in that ring. And I believe whenever they like allow him to fully be like a single star, I'm talking about no vision at all, it's gonna be great for him. Now I will say the vision came in a little later than I thought, and I was a bit surprised with Penta and Dragon Lee. Now I do remember Rey Mysterio saying, he was talking to CM Punk, let him know he got back up and stuff,
yeah,
But Penta and Dragon Lee kind of caught me off guard, but I'm glad that Penta and Dragon Lee are getting the breath of that main event scene, especially Dragon Lee, because the beginning of last year for Dragon Lee started off terribly, but he ended it off even better. Tag team champion with AJ Styles, actually getting matches, going to AAA, getting matches in. It was amazing. Dragon Lee had a breakout year, even though it was only towards the end of the year, he still had a
he
breakout year.
still had that little moment to shine.
Yeah.
So
And
I
I
feel
want
like
to say,
he got big things coming too.
and I want to say, Braun Breaker kicking out at 2.9, that caught me.
Insanity.
I thought it was over. I thought it was over. I was happy when CM Punk did that STF. It was like, just a nice shout out to John Cena. It was amazing. Now, do you remember when CM Punk jumped off of he countered, but when he jumped off the rope and Breaker no, actually I think he went for a suicide dive and Braun Breaker caught him with a punch midair and CM Punk's face hit that floor.
That was insane. There were so many highs and lows in that match. It was just like, ooh, ooh, like I was glued to my seat. Like
Yes.
that was a banger.
And they had some finishes. I thought that match could have ended at any time. And I will say that table spot was amazing. And overall, this was a great finish from CM Punk retaining his title. And what an amazing showing by Braun Breaker.
100%. Now, here's the sad part about the show. We're gonna end it on some things. So, do you want to be the announcer for this?
Oh, well, everybody, let's welcome you to a segment called Let's Talk About It. This is where I'm going to go over some of the hot takes, the hottest conversations in wrestling, and I don't give a damn what nobody got to say about their opinion because my opinion is what matters right now. First off, let's talk about it. They signed Javon Evans on a commercial break. Mind you, y'all are on Netflix, one of the biggest streaming sites ever. We got movies, TV shows, but y'all want us to pay extra, and y'all tease us saying that, oh, well, if you buy premium, you don't have to see ads. Let's talk about that. Y'all gonna sign one of the biggest free agents from NXT, one of the most hyped superstars on a commercial break?
Because you know your boy is bouncy.
Come on now. Come on.
Crazy work.
What are
That
we
is
doing?
insanity. Hit
What
him
are
with
we
the
doing?
next one. Hit him with the next one.
You know what? Another one. Hey, I'm not even the biggest Nikki Bella fan, but we finna talk about this. People have been disrespecting Nikki Bella ever since that match she had with Becky Lynch. Like that was her fault. Becky Lynch was out of position. I love Becky Lynch. We're gonna talk about that though. Becky Lynch was out of position. That was not Nikki Bella's fault. Hey, can we not forget? Nikki Bella came from an era where the divas could not fully wrestle to their full potential. They didn't get to do what they really wanted to do. So for her to show out in that triple threat like she did against Stephanie and Raquel, even I have to give Nikki Bella her respects and props. She actually is doing something that I'm invested in. Come on now. Why people hate
100%.
Nikki Bella so much? Let's talk about that.
100%.
I feel like it's just salty John Cena fans. And we love
It
John Cena.
is.
Shout out to the GOAT. He just retired. But why y'all digging into that personal life? Y'all are wrestling fans. Y'all are world wrestling entertainment fans. Why are y'all getting into that personal life?
I think that the biggest one that we have on our list, I think we should save it for next week to give them something to look forward to. We're not even gonna
Mm-mm.
we're not even gonna mention it. But hit us up with Andrade one time.
Andrade, let's talk about that. I want to say, I don't know if I'm shocked, intrigued, or if that man just a dummy. This man, not only still being under a WWE contract, goes to AEW, but let's talk about what he did beforehand. When he leaves WWE, he immediately posts on Twitter, fuck the WWE. He starts talking trash about WWE. Goes to AEW. Is one of their biggest stars for that moment. Then he gets lost in the shuffle. He comes back to WWE. What does he do? Absolutely nothing. He does nothing. But
He
he wants to
leaves,
post fuck WWE.
but think about it. When he came back to WWE and he left again, he left right when they were about to get the tag team titles.
Him and Ray Phoenix were about to get a huge push.
Exactly. Like they had started winning matches and everything. That just caught me off guard.
Like, I don't get it. And and since we're talking about hot takes, let's talk about this. John Cena's heel run.
Ooh,
John Cena's heel run. The match at WrestleMania 41. No, was that 42? 41? It's 41.
yeah,
The match at WrestleMania 41 was absolute dog shit. But the result itself was the correct result.
agreed.
John Cena's heel turn and heel run was good. The only bad part was WrestleMania. And since WrestleMania was the only bad part, that hindered a lot. On top of that, The Rock fucked up the storyline himself. The Rock fucked up a lot of stuff. So people want to talk about how bad John Cena heel run is. Let's talk about how bad and random that face turn was on a random episode of Friday Night SmackDown.
Just
Talk
so
about
random, out of the blue. The
where did
Rock,
that come from? He just
John
randomly changes
Cena's
his mind.
John Cena's face turn kind of just like had a domino effect because they was building R-Truth up. Now R-Truth is back doing nothing. That is insanity.
They did all that just to have him lose to Brock Lesnar in 8 minutes.
It's just crazy. But it's that time. It is that
Well,
time.
ladies and gentlemen, once again, my name is Agent 04. Moni, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to the next episode. And,
Oh,
you
we
know,
already have an action-packed second episode. That's why I said our main topic,
we're going to save it.
we're gonna leave them hanging.
Hey, but
So
I'm going to give them a little teaser. Tick tock, tick tock.
that's all you get, folks. Thank you for tuning in to episode 1 of the Mixed Tag Podcast. You can find us on Twitch and YouTube soon. Please stay tuned for episode 2. As he said, TikTok.